Prairie Mosaic is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008, the North Dakota Council on the Arts, and by the members of Prairie Public.
Welcome to Prairie Mosaic, a patchwork of stories about the arts, culture, and history in our region.
Hi, I'm Matt O'Lean.
And I'm Barb Gravel. On this edition of Prairie Mosaic, we'll learn about the Gaelic harp, visit an area museum, and enjoy some indie pop music. Rex Cook is the very definition of a real cowboy. The 93-year-old rancher and horse trainer also excels as a Western leather artist, designing and crafting saddles, belts, and purses.
I cut my decorative cuts like this, see? I push it away from me. The right way to do it is like this. Towards you, and I can't do it that way, because I never learned, see? So I push it away.
Rex is a good guy. He's a cowboy. He'd help anybody. If I have something, question, I'll run it by. Same deal, he'll run things by me. What would you do in this deal? And he showed me how to carve. Rex is an excellent carver. Rex and I have been in cow deals, horse deals, and he the kind of guy, old-time cowboy, you get it done.
Belts and purses, quite a number of them. And in fact, that's what I made all the time, and I've made that most of the time. And then saddles, and what they call breast collars, I've made several of those. But I always was interested in the leather. When I grew up, occasionally you'd find a cowboy would have what they called a hand-carved saddle. And I couldn't imagine how they could carve it. And I always had a kind of a passion for doing it. And I tried with old leather and tried to carve it, and it didn't turn out very well. And so I got the address of a Montana leather company in Butte. And I just wrote them a letter and said I wanted leather to carve belts and purses and a set of carving tools. And I had no idea what I was getting. And they sent them to me, and I looked them over and kind of decided how they were supposed to work. Job is to cut all the parts so they fit. It's fit on a tree. The tree ordinarily was made out of rawhide, wood covered with rawhide. And then you've got to form the leather, which is wet, and form it to that tree. And you do it by stretching the leather and pressing it into place, or in some cases you've got to put gussets in and sew it. And so that's part of the key, is to make everything fit. And one of the critical parts is the seat of the saddle, which is pretty hard, and some of the cuts you can only make one time, and they've got to fit the first time.
No shortcuts. Part of my deal now with these bronc saddles is the experience I have. It's not rocket science, but riggings have to be square, have to have good trees, good leather. Don't take shortcuts.
Saddles specialize for certain things, and they sit a little different. Cutting horse saddles are a little bit different than a roping saddle. And the seat, it's hard to describe how a good seat is, but it's kind of like sitting in a good chair. It's hard to describe a poor chair from a good one, but there's a difference, and that's the way it is with a saddle. Well, I was born in 1928. My family had always been horse ranchers and raised hundreds of horses. Of course, I was always interested in horses, always wanted to be a cowboy like a lot of, everybody grows up wanting to be a cowboy. But I had the advantage because I was right there, so I could, if I wanted to be, if you wanted to ride, go ahead, and we've got this to do, so I had riding to do. And I broke my first horse to ride at, I was 12 years old. That's where my ranch was. It had been a ranch site as long as anyone could remember. There was a line camp for some big ranch. I always, after I had the land, I never lived there, but I always had cattle and horses. And then when I was teaching school, I'd go out work in the summertime at pasture cattle and work them out there, and that was a lot of fun. The high school rodeos came along, and they got involved in that. And so my son and daughter are both involved in that. People knew about it, and then they'd want their child to get some help, and they'd come to me. Then from then on, I had kids that I helped. Every year I'd help one or two. From then, with the kids, it gives you, because they learn a little something about riding, and whether it's roping or whether it's working cutting horses.
I asked Rex, I said, how many kids have you helped rope? How many kids have you helped in cutting? He said, I don't know. He didn't know. There's so many of them. He doesn't know. I would say, realistically, he's probably helped 50 kids cut. And even today, he helps those high school kids, or has a horse and high school kids can ride.
I just like to ride. I always like to ride and like to work horses. Something you like to do. So I've got patterns, and what I do with them, see, I cut them out here. This is a technique a lot of them don't use, but I cut them out here. Well, then when I do it, I just tip this over, and I got the bare leather wet, and I pound it down. That puts the pattern on here. I guess practice, like anything else, it says practice, practice, practice. And you've got to have a little artistic ability to lay out the patterns and make them work. Or you can buy patterns, and then the secret is working this swivel cutter, swivel knife.
Rex, for his age, has been a lot of places, done a lot of things, and still going, and still living that lifestyle. He gets up in the morning, he goes out, feeds his horses, or he goes to his place out in the hills. He don't sit down. He's always going. I
did pretty much what I wanted to do. Like I said, everybody wants to be a cowboy. And you do those things, and I think the Western way of life describes how this country was settled and formed.
Ann Heyman of Winthrop, Minnesota has dedicated her life to the Gaelic harp. On a visit to our studio, she graciously shared her knowledge and talent with us.
Some friends gave me a publication called The Ancient Music of Ireland, and I'd read that they played with fingernails and they played the instrument on the left shoulder. I approached the harp that I was to buy and played one string. The sound rang out and rang out. I'm Ann Heyman, and I'm from Winthrop, Minnesota. This is a Gaelic harp. Its image is on the back of every Irish coin and on Irish passports and on postman's buttons. It's the image that Guinness used, but now they've really modernized it. Ecklen Kane was an Irishman playing harp in Scotland, and he's the one who first used the term Gaelic harp. There was a time when it wasn't really accepted into the church because it was considered pagan. We know that this instrument was used to play in churches and private chapels of the big homes by 800. To better understand it, I paid attention to Irish mythology. It turns out the legend of the first harp is a woman detested her husband, and she was running all over Ireland, and he was chasing after her. There was the carcass of a beached whale in the northern part of Ireland at the Strand. The wind blew through its bones or sinews, and the sound of it put her to sleep. The husband saw this and he thought, oh, if I could please my wife like that, and made the very first clarsach from parts of the whale. The profile of its skull structure looks like the harp lying on its back. So the eye would be here, and this would be the jaw down here, and this would be the bow, and this is where the mouth would open. Then baleen, it's like horsehair fringe off of them, and that's what strains the creel from the ocean. There's the zoomorphic figure on the forepillar, and I believe that to be a two-headed eel representing the migration of eels because they were magical. There were 3 types of music that the instrument was known to be played for: Goltree, Gauntry, and Suantree. And that's crying music, laughing music, and sleeping music. This harp was made for me by David Courtier in Duluth, Minnesota. It's in the form of the medieval Irish harp that first appears in iconography circa 1000. It has the harmonic curve in the neck, and this is a feature of instruments that are strung in metal. At the same time period in 1000, the instruments that were strung in gut or horsehair had straight necks. And it has a bowed forepillar, a robust construction, and you can even see the metal cheek bands. And this means there's a lot of tension on my frame, which means I'm not a little tiny lap harp, but I have significant size and bass pitches, which put more tension on the frame. Now, it is known that the harpers played with the harp on the left shoulder, and that's different from the way other harps are played. Most harps are played on the right shoulder here, and this affords the right hand to be playing the high strings and the left hand the bass, so it's orientated more like piano. Now, this is known as the downhill harp. This harp is strung entirely in brass. This is a water serpent, otherwise known as eel, and Loch Ness in the northern part of Ireland is known for having horsehead eels, like Scotland's Loch Nessie, but without as much hoopla. This would be a Gothic harp. These instruments are known to have quite a sound. They have bray pins. The pin holds the string in. This is the copy of a harp known as the Bunworth harp, and it was made in 1734 for the Reverend Charles Bunworth by John Kelly. This is one-piece willow sound box, and it's a high-headed harp. It's the only Irish harp that resides outside of Ireland or Scotland. It's in Boston at the Museum of Fine Arts, Boston. Edward Bunting thought the right hand, being strongest, played the major melody notes in the sonorous range of the instrument, and the treble hand provides the symphonal parts. The bass hand plays on the beat, and so it's harp is percussion before it is a stringed instrument. You strike the strings. Think of how different the music would be if piano was designed with the extreme bass in the right and the extreme treble to the left. How would the music have developed differently? When the music starts to speak to me, I can't deny it anymore. I'm trying to bring the voice of the instrument to life.
In this Artifact Spotlight, Lisa Vita of the Historical and Cultural Society of Clay County in Moorhead shows us some essential homemade items that came with Norwegians on their long journeys to Minnesota in the 1800s.
Hi, I'm Lisa Vita, the Collections Manager at the Historical and Cultural Society of Clay County at the Yemkamp Center in Moorhead, Minnesota. And this is my Artifact Spotlight. Here at the museum, we have a small collection of Norwegian folk art artifacts that were brought over by immigrants from Norway in the 1870s and 1880s. A lot of the people who came to Clay County from Norway were joining relatives in Clay County, or when they were some of the first ones to come, they were taking advantage of the homesteading offers that were available for land in Minnesota. These artifacts are mostly household goods that were all handmade and decorated in a variety of manners, from painting to different kinds of carving and also wood burning. Many people didn't have access to factory-made goods, so that's why a lot of the items in their homes were handmade from wood and other materials that were easily accessible to them. And when they came to America, they also didn't have access to factory-made luggage, so they made wooden immigrant trunks and decorated them very elaborately in many cases. And we have several immigrant trunks in our collection. This trunk was made for Anne Johnsdottir Tweeten in 1879 for her trip to Clay County. And it has some very beautiful painting decorating it that is called rosemalling, which is specific to Norway. And different regions of Norway have different styles of rosemalling. It also has some very beautiful wrought iron work for the lock and the handles on the sides and some of the fastenings on the corners. It also uses some wood pegs for its construction and also some metal rivets and nails as well. People often packed a lot of these household goods into their immigrant trunks to bring with them to America so that they would have what they needed to start their new homes. And there's different types of objects, such as salt cellars. Salt was a very prized seasoning. It wasn't as common in the 19th century and prior to that. This was a wedding gift in 1851 to the couple that brought it over from Norway. Boxes like these were called tina, and they were meant to hold different types of food or other household objects. They were made by bending birch wood and fastening the ends together with birch root. And this box was decorated with burned wood designs, and this tina was decorated with painted design that is common to the Telemark region. This is a butter tub that just held butter. It was made in 1807, but repainted in 1914. And another common feature for decorating is putting the year that the object was created on the object. This milk bowl is one of our oldest objects in the collection. It was made in 1780, is carved in the bottom of the bowl with the initials of the maker and a little design at the bottom. Folk art pieces like these have survived because they were durable and well built, and people saved them out of nostalgia for their heritage in Norway. And Minnesota and North Dakota had some of the largest numbers of Norwegian immigrants, and so there's still deep connection felt by people of Norwegian background to their heritage. As the County Historical Society, we do focus our collecting on Clay County, Minnesota, but we are not just a Scandinavian museum. We do want to collect objects for our collection from people from all backgrounds who have had history in Clay County.
Elska's indie pop-style music blends with her dynamic vocal range and personal lyrics to produce a progressive and pleasing sound. Enjoy this Minnesota musician who performed for our series, Prairie Musicians.
If I could just find a hummingbird, I bet I'd make him stay. Just too fast, too colorful, too bad they don't remain in the same place. Oh, might check out that hummingbird. decides he'll fly off to another one, then come back to the other one. I think I might want a hummingbird, and I bet I'll make him mine. A rose I read enough to keep him around, and the wildflowers just let anyone in to spread out. Seems like everybody's trying to lure him away. If he'd get close enough, I bet I'd make him stay. Here comes that hummingbird, and I know what's on his mind. He's just trying to wet that beak of his, and every flower he finds, he'll fly off to another one, then come back to the other one. I don't know why I want that hummingbird, but I'm gonna make him mine. A rose ain't red enough to keep him around, and the wildflowers just let anyone in to spread out. Seems like everybody's trying to lure him away. But if he knew how sweet I am, I bet I'd make him stay. And if he found me, boy, those wings would never get tired, and boy, he'd never feel hunger. I'd feel like home, because home is wherever you are. A rose ain't red enough to keep him around, and the wildflowers just let anyone in to spread out. Seems like everybody's trying to lure him away. If he'd get close enough, I'd let him know. A rose ain't red enough to keep him around, and the wildflowers just let anyone in to spread out. Seems like everybody's trying to lure him away. But if he knew how sweet I am, I bet I'd make him stay. You're okay, you're okay, you're okay, you're okay, is not how she hears it. You're fine, you're fine, you're fine, you're fine, is not how she feels it. We say just get over it, just get over it, just get over it. Not your fault, not your fault, not your fault, not your fault, it's not how she sees it. It'll pass, it'll pass, it'll pass, this will pass, it's not how she feels it. Just get over it, just get over it. Open caring eyes, open soul and mind, a heart in division. Something's missing when no words prevail, when our wisdom fails. Abandon the system, stop talking, listen. You're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, that's how she hears it. You're no good, you're no good, you're no good, you're no good, that's how she feels it. Open caring eyes, open soul and mind, a heart in division. Something's missing when no words prevail, when our wisdom fails. Abandon the system, stop talking, listen. When no words prevail, when our wisdom fails. Abandon the system, stop talking, listen.
If you know of an artist, a topic, or an organization in our region that you think would make for an interesting segment, please contact us at prairiemosaic@prairiepublic.org.
You can watch this and other episodes of Prairie Mosaic on Prairie Public's YouTube channel and follow Prairie Public on social media as well. I'm Matt O'Lean.
And I'm Barb Gravel. Thank you for joining us for another edition of Prairie Mosaic. Prairie Mosaic is funded by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008, the North Dakota Council on the Arts, and by the members of Prairie Public.